Good morning. Sorry to break that excitement and engagement. We'll leave it here. You can play. So, good morning, and thank you for taking time to come and attend the session on media balance. Sheba and Kavita will be facilitating the session. Uh, you all know that in this digital world, it is very difficult to not to it is very difficult to keep the children away from the devices, but the whole session is how to create a balance between the screen online and offline activities. Some of the things we wanted to be very interactive, so sharing of best practices from the parents, as well as some of the strategies that the research has come up with. And we will also be introducing you or taking you through one of the websites that will be very useful for the parents. It's called a common sense .org, where you get reviews about about the books, about video games, about the movies and all that. So you can, as a parent, go through that and then take an informed decision whether your child need to engage in those activities. Okay, so that's the gist of the session.
Good morning, everyone. So, why do you think we kept all these games for you and books? Any idea? Exactly. So, we just want to see whether you are taking part of an offline activities instead of seeing the mobile phone. We just wanted to see whether you're interacting with your friends, and uh, this is how your house need to be without digital devices, other manipulatives, other sessions, other games, so that your children will get diverted. So that's why we just wanted to start this at. So as Andy said, can anyone tell me what do you think a media balance is? So the topic goes with monitoring screen time. We come down to a point where we're going to maintain media balance. So what do you mean by media balance? Can be, it's not a right or wrong answer. You can just give us. True. Okay. A balance. Good one. Anything else? Okay. As as you all said, it's maintaining a media balance. More emphasis on the word is healthy. You feel healthy balancing both. It's just not one thing, but you feel healthy in balancing your online activities as well as the online activities. We're going to head towards this. I'm going to have a small activity to be done. I'm just going to give you a balance. And at one side, you can write all your online activities that your child is doing. And the other side, the offline activities that you have observed your children doing at home. Okay. You can mention time if it is okay, if you know, like approximate 30 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever it is. Can you just jot it down? So that will be.
For me and you and you, helps us stand up straight and keeps us in our shoes. Sometimes with technology, balancing's hard to do. Yes, balance is important. For me and you and you. Hear a song, these words are true. When you look up from your screen when a friend says hi, share your game that they want to try. Play outside when the sun is bright. Devices go off when you say goodnight. It makes your whole self happy when you're balancing just right. Balance is important for me and you and you. Your heart, your head, your arms, or your legs need that balance too. Too much of something can make you mad or blue. So trust your guts, get on your feet. There's so much that you can do. When you ask before you take a phone, not a friend if they're all alone. Stick to sides you know online. Go outside when the weather is fine. It makes your whole self happy when you're balancing just right. Media balance isn't easy. We know that this is true. Just think about this balance song, it'll help you through. Is important for me and you and you. Balance helps us stand up straight and keeps us in our shoes. Sometimes with technology, balancing's hard to do. Yes, balance is important for me and you and you. Hear a song, these words are true. When you look up from your screen when a friend says hi, share your game that they want to try. Play outside when the sun is bright. Devices go off when you say goodnight. It makes your whole self happy when you're balancing just right. Balance is important for me and you and you. Your heart, your head, your arms, or your legs need that balance too. Too much of
Once you
something
write, you can
can
just
make you
look at
mad
your
or blue.
balance,
So
see if it is
trust your guts,
balanced,
get
or
on
do you
your
feel
feet.
there
There's
needs
so
to be some
much that
changes to
you can
maintain the balance. You can
do.
just review your own sheet.
When you ask before you take a phone, not a friend if they're all alone. Stick to sides you know online. Go outside when the weather is fine. It makes your whole self happy when you're balancing just right. Balance isn't easy. We know that this is true. Just think about this balance song, it'll help you through.
I think most of you have completed. Can we move on? Okay. We would like to we would like you all to share something that you're facing as challenge at home that you're not able to maintain the media balance, and you have also tried something and that has worked out, and after that you're able to maintain that media balance. Is there, we wanted to take your thoughts on this before we s- share our strategies. So have you guys tried something like that?
So we've been lucky to have three children, and my eldest is 18. So we learned a lot from his patterns of usage. and now I have one in ninth and one in fifth, and we have representing the fifth. Um, the biggest challenge that I saw at some point was with my eldest one was it was kind of going towards the other side of the balance, which is being on the digital platform, be it Amazon Prime, YouTube, videos, games. The games are getting extremely towards the other side. Um, they were so addicted to the games, playing it all the time, and it usually starts in the night when all children are available. Starts at around 10 o'clock, goes on till 11, 11:30ish, 12. We started to see that pattern, but he was also growing up, right? So we had to go back, have a conversation with him to make him understand how it actually eats into his sleep, set the times right for him to be able to balance. Of course, there will be friction in those conversations. And as parents, we also get frustrated because we are trying to go and see if he's already slept or not and what's going on. So one of the things that I started to do with me was we have multiple. I mean, we have a her father at home as well. So he's watching movies very late in the night too. So we can't restrict him either. So what we had to do is I'm a software engineer. So what I actually did was implement a device strategy where there was times being kept for each of those children in terms of what they can do, and by 10 p.m. Basically the internet to the home was cut off. It's a little bit more I would say, a dictatorialship type of thing. But I told them, I said, hey, I'm going to cut this at 10. Try and see how this works for some time. You're going to get frustrated. But at some point, you will come back and adjust. So right now, my son say, 10 is good. Saturday, can you give me 10:30? Which seems to have worked actually for us.
Anyone else?
I'm quite in favor of dictatorships as well. I don't know how long it's going to last with our kids, but I can share something that I did very intuitively about 3, 4 years ago. I have three kids as well, but my oldest one is 13, now 10, and the little one is 5. So when my 13-year-old was 7 or 8, I realized that no matter how much, same thing, right? No matter how much I told them not to, he would slyly try and watch, even if his screen time was over. It was leading to a lot of frustration. So I decided one summer that we're going to have a no device summer. No TV, no device, no matter how bad it gets. I didn't expect it to work. I thought that, in 2 weeks, I myself will say, listen, please take devices, getting too, maddening for us. But surprisingly, it cleared up so many hours of time to do other things. And the kids actually started enjoying it. And I attribute that summer to why my son started reading the way he did. He's a bookworm. So now I just felt it's working and I'm continuing that. Now, obviously, it's not a no device summer. It's weekend of every weekend they get some screen time. So 1 hour a day. On over the weekends, no devices, no screen during the week. Some resistance is coming up now. So now we try and do okay, half an hour a day as opposed to 1.5 hours per day over the weekend. So trying to average it out. But they just accept these rules. I feel sometimes they just say, okay, my house works like this. Even though they try and argue initially, it doesn't work. Other kids are not doing it. Why are you not letting me do it? But I think kids eventually realize that, okay, my house is a little different. It works like that. And they can have a conversation with me when they feel that, listen, can we have a little more? I see that. I feel like rather than doing it slyly, I'd rather have a conversation and say, okay, do you feel you'll do better with half an hour every day rather than in 2 days, 2 hours per day of the weekend? And I think we can keep that open, but I feel like we are faced with such a large issue that until dictatorships work, I think I'm in favor.
What is it that they ask for? Is it for video games? Is it for chatting? What usually are the demands from the
Yeah.
when they come to school and every other kid is talking, I think it's more of FOMO in them. Oh shit,
Yes.
I don't know about that character. Oh, I didn't watch it. Where am I
Exactly.
missing it? So they are like, no, I have to keep up with their race. I have to catch up. So I have to. So I think more thing builds with their friends. One person knows and the other person is not knowing. They feel they're let out. So they're like, I have to catch up on that race. So that is a very big challenge because you can't control it. You don't know what they talk with their friends. You don't know what is happening in their school, what discussions are going on. So you have no control on it. So when they are in your house, they are in your den. Yeah. very big challenge to, get, especially from male kids. I know it's very difficult to get in what's there. I think the daughters are better, they come out and they tell me. Yes, that's another challenge. Doesn't have company at home. Yeah. And what do you do? Correct. You are also sometimes working. Yeah. That is really challenging. I think everybody has their own challenges, be it one child, three child, two child. So I guess, or be it just boys, adults, just girls, or be it a combination. Yeah. We've reached a sort of agreement that you don't watch, say, YouTube, or you don't watch Yusuf videos. But when it comes to this sort of the social aspect of it, I want to chat with my cousins, I want to chat with my friends at school. Then you feel, maybe it is worth that, because we also use technology like that. We are able to keep in touch with friends who are far away, and we understand that that's a good thing. But then you don't know where to draw the line. You're like, enough, you've spoken to your cousins for half an hour now, but then how do you draw that line? And it is difficult. There is no right or wrong strategy here. Some, as you all mentioned, in every household it is different. If what works for them is what, and we cannot compare, especially if you have
No, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so so many groups. Like I said, three different boys and so many SMS or from the school. So unfortunately, I have to keep checking and I have to keep looking. I can't avoid. But I know what I'm doing. But they might be thinking, "Oh, mom is all the time on the phone." So I guess that's another thing. And one other thing I would like to. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but my husband believes that it's better to be open and let their interests also be open. Yes, my fifth grader, we are all movie buffs. No offense to ma'am sitting here, but they love to watch Hindi. We keep up with all movies, Tamil, Hindi, English. And I get a little concerned, like I tell him, did you read the review of the movie before, so like there'll be this violence or be it whatever asur, and I'm like, no, 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 you really think you have to take our fifth grader? Shamla, it's okay, he enjoys. Amma, chill, it's okay. We know what it is. We're not going to be afraid, or I'm very brave. That's fine. So. But I feel that they should not watch this movie or that movie, and there might be scenes. My ninth grader, he's like very very correct. When we are watching something, he'll forward it. Okay, it's time to forward, because there's some.
He knows the forward.
Yeah, he knows where to forward and where to. So my fifth grader still doesn't understand, but I think unfortunately they've become over matured now, and they know where what it is. So I am more like worried and scared this movie has this content, or that is it a UA, is it an A? And then I'm like, I keep telling him, why it seems like an A and you took them.
I think you can't enter any other movie other than Disney, I think.
So
these
he's
days.
like, that's okay. They're enjoying movies or any other, thing, as long as, like she says, we know what is right, what is wrong. It's better to also, explain to them, tell them about it. So,
Yesterday, after the session for the DD and GG, one of the parent came and said, "Oh my God, I took my child to jailer. I didn't know that it was full of violence." Now, after you are telling that, that is one. So she was feeling very upset that without knowing, unaware that it will be the storyline, she took the child and she was feeling a little worried. So I said, it happens. Okay, lovely.
And watch. That's the only movie night. Theaters, it's only for the kids.
So we also try to do it as groups, so we know what movie we watch.
Okay, so
Lovely strategies. In fact,
yes, it was something. Yeah. Yes, yes, please.
Definitely, there's a concern and worry around the content, for sure. In our cases, what we've done, at least with our fifth and ninth graders, we've kind of stopped the social networking side of it, so that there's no need for unnecessarily going into Instagram or to Snapchat for something else, because
Discord.
those sites are also becoming very much porn prone at this point. I don't know if many people realize that or not. Instagram is becoming like that too. So we've kind of stopped that. We had that control with our eldest one. Of course, now he's in college. He understands that. But we've had some very blunt, open conversations. Because the more you don't talk about it or the more you try to contain them, I think the curiosity becomes even bigger. So we've had that challenge and we've kind of circumvented that by doing this.
So, as Sir said, we are a. Oh, I'm sorry.
The other concern we've had is chat groups. So I have an older son who's in eighth grade, and when he was maybe in sixth, he was talking about the Discord group that they had, and I did not allow him to go on it because I read through it, and it's not a closed group unless you're a Google chat through KC. It's a closed group. You know who's on it because it's only other students. It does not allow people from outside. But Discord allows anybody, and you can have a closed group if you would like, but you have no control on who else might try to enter because it started as a gaming chat site. Now I see that some of the children from SS on their Google chat are inviting other kids to Discord. So it's kind of permeated the lower classes as well. Since I've not allowed even my eighth grader to use it, it's not a popular decision, but I said, no, you can't use it. So my younger one automatically didn't even bother asking me. He said, I know it's not nice. I won't do it.
But there's a huge pressure, especially because other classmates are on a, say, a particular chat site, for them to go. And at that age, they are not aware of what lurks out there on chat sites. It's scary to have to explain half of it to them at that age. They may not fully understand. But I told them that there's the lack of control and the fact that you may be talking to anybody on the internet, and soon friendships form and things like that. The other thing is also supervised device time. They're never in a room where it's closed, even with my older child. Doors are always open. So they know that someone is always out there. I think that they self regulate. They also know what to do, what not to do. And automatically, then they are not going to things that they shouldn't be because there's somebody around and there's no need to hide. If they need to see something, they'll ask me that, we discussed this in class. Am I allowed to see this or not? And so I've been using Common Sense Media actually for movies because I have two different age groups, and if they want to do something together, they have to do it at the lower age group. Otherwise, you'd have to find a time when my older son maybe can watch, say, a Marvel movie that my younger son shouldn't be watching. So that becomes tricky when you have two children, and it's difficult to find age appropriate stuff that way.
Very difficult because I find the younger ones inadvertently get exposed to things much sooner than.
Thank you for sharing. It's wonderful for you, for me to see how much strategies you also follow at home. From school, also, we've been giving input, but it's nice to see you all practicing some of them at home. Yeah, next. And I hope you all agree with this statement. We don't say no technology, no digital device. We don't come to the point of that, but we come to a point of being a responsible digital citizen. So, who's a digital citizen? All of us. Anyone who uses any digital device comes under the digital citizen and comes under digital citizen. So, from school, we also being kids have been taught certain topics on how to be a responsible good digital citizen. For example, creating a strong password, how to as ma'am said, there'd be people not to chat with unknown people, how to be safe in the online world. And something is disturbing your emotions, you're feeling disturbed, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling angry, immediately report to an adult. So there are certain topics that has been taught to the learners. So we also uh, request you also to support that in that way. So every digital citizen topic has been updated in the weekly report once we do here. So you can also review then, talk to them about that so that everybody of us will be in the same page. Okay, Auntie, you want to add on?
So it is the same in the digital world. How to be safe, how to ensure that you are not leaving your digital footprint, is safe, and you are not engaging in a conversation with anybody who's unknown, with any stranger. That is something we keep telling them. Not to open emails from a person whom you do not know, and not to go on chat with somebody who's not in your group. Then we also tell them not to share your details, your password, and all with your friends, because sometimes when you're very close to each other, they just say, this is my password, and then it becomes, once you give it to somebody, it it is out there, right? So we have been telling them, we have been reminding them how it is very important to keep all these information to yourself and not to share, no matter whether it comes in the way of you being friends with others. So that is something again. And some of the best practices in searching. So they do have research work that is assigned by the school, right? So we also talk about how you can use the keywords, how to use the keywords to search so that you land on a page that gives you appropriate information rather than going on different pages. So that is again, and what are the kind of websites? Well, how does it end? Is it just .com, or is it .in or .org? What is the difference between them? So these are the kind of sessions that they are getting exposed to, so that they become responsible users, digital users. So please have a chat at home on what is the topic that is happening in digital citizenship, and then maybe you can reinforce those back home also.
Okay, so I would just like to share some of the strategies. Okay, you can have a screen-free zone area in your house. Maybe especially in your dining table when you're having your food, please avoid devices. So children do come to us and tell my mother uses a phone, auntie, in the dining table, my mother or my father uses his laptop. So it's better for us to create a screen free zone area. When we are eating, we will enjoy with the family. Maybe if you're working, I understand that you cannot be with the children always, but at least weekly, once or twice, you will keep your device away and sit with them to have food, so the children will learn from you too. So the dining table especially, please avoid having a digital device. And your bedroom, on your bed you cannot use a digital device. Please have a separate table and share for them to use it. Even if it's a laptop, it can be carried everywhere, but it's good for children to have their back rest. You lean back, sit down and work. So have a working station. Especially one of the research that we were looking into, don't have a digital device inside your bedroom, because every time they tend to see a digital device, they tend to use it. For example, my phone is there, so automatically after some time you just walk, take the phone, see. Even I have this habit, I will not get any WhatsApp message, but I'll just open WhatsApp and close. So things like that happen. So it should be out of their sight. And give them a corner in your house. Maybe they can decorate it. Maybe we have a reading corner in school. Something like that they can decorate. If they like painting or some other activities, they can go do it there. And you can tell them it's a screen free zone or it's a screen free time. You cannot use it. Things like that would encourage them. If it goes beyond that, don't get panic. Oh, my child is using. Play a loud music inside your house. Some music where it means that we cannot use. It's screen free time. Start this slowly, kids will get into it. As ma'am said, you have to first initially we start, kids will automatically come into that phase because they know in our house this is how it works. And again, all of us have need to be in the same page. So this is one of the context over screen free zone areas. And always be a part of your child's online world. They are still young. They are only 9 years, 10 years, 11 years. They are still young. Please be part of whatever they are searching. It's very difficult to just sit with them and watch. But you can take whatever they're going to research, even if it's a homework, just see what is going to be the content, then allow the child to do it. And have a conversation. What did you do now? Was it interesting? Was it fun? What was your learning from that? If they are playing a game, it's fine. Now, what game did you play? Was it interesting? Did you find any new characters in that game? What did that character do? Then you can have a comparison between the games that they play and all the educational sites they view, so that you can give them a strategy. Now, what is the end result? Did you find the educational site be more interesting? You collected information, you're more knowledgeable in that. Game was fun, so we can spend less time on that. So you have a conversation, so definitely they will know that mama or papa will ask me, so I have to give them an answer. So we build their responsibility. So how to manage both. So things like that would help. And also talk to them anytime when they go into the laptop or come back. Ask them the simple question, how are you feeling? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you agitated? Did something weird happen in the system that you're feeling very scared about it? So we do in a session, it's a red alert feeling. Sometimes the child will say, auntie, it was so scary to watch that. Sometimes the child will be happy. So you will definitely know how your child is feeling. And you can definitely put in a comparison there. And it will help you. So you know the child is not okay. So let's not do that. So things like that, your content and all that, it will help you to child to become a responsible digital citizen. Kavita, do you want to add on?
And while you're watching, there are plenty of commercials coming in between the program. So tell them that just because it is on the screen, it need not be good for us. Talk about the junk food concept and tell them this is bad for us, so we need not go for it. If possible, fast forward the commercials, or you can record the program and play it later. And also, when nobody is watching the TV, let it not be on in the background, because that also is a distraction for the children. And once in a while, watching movies with the popcorn is fine, but uh, we need not have a habit of eating in front of the TV, because that causes mindless munching. So they put on weight and it causes obese issues, all that.
So, other thing we were discussing, in between some advertisements come up. If there's an informative advertisement, you can talk to them about it. Ask them what is it about, what is this advertisement about, how creative they are. So you can have a conversation. If it is an inappropriate ad, immediately don't go switch off. Just divert their attention. Give them a task. Stand, do a yoga pose now. Act like a monkey. Just instant activities for them so that they will get diverted. Okay, I should not watch this at that moment. Okay, so these, and I hope all of you must be doing this. Have lot of family activities apart from screen time, just that what we had now. So have a weekly game, maybe a carom board we're going to play on a Friday night, or it's going to be we're going to just go out, play in a play shuttlecock or something, or go to a beach for a walk, or if you have a pet you're going to take. So have some family activities, regular family activities, planned activities, where all of you guys will leave the digital device and go off. And would also encourage you to buy some indoor plants for your kids and give it to them, and just tell them you are responsible for these plants. So they need to water, they need to take care. You can talk to them, is your plant growing, what kind of plant, did you change the soil, or some kind of conversation. You can buy a plain mud pot, ask them to paint the pot. Give them activities, offline activities, on a regular basis. Can arrange for a play date. Sometimes if it's difficult, find an alternative. Instead of telling don't do this particular task, don't watch this game, don't watch this video, don't do G chat, what is the alternative are we giving them? So that's something that we need to refresh and review, and give them a simple thing. It may not be heavy activities, but a simple, even you can give your t-shirt, buy some block prints, give them, let them try a block print there, and they can wear their own dress. So all these will interest them at this very young age. And it's always better to have an agreement with your child. It is not forcing, but you will work together, as ma'am said. So I will open this for you, and I think you must have got it in your mail. We have two age group. One is 2 to 8, and the other one is 9 to 12. But 2 to 8 is an elaborate way of handling the media balance. So you can give your child's name and whatever device they are going to use, and when they are going to use, if it's weekday or weekend, what are your expectation? Sit with your child and make an expectation for your family. Collaborate with them, sit with them, talk to them. If they want particular day for a more screen time, give them, and give them the next day. That day you took half an hour extra. So this today we are going to reduce the timing. So you can make a schedule with them. If you could, can you just open? It would have come to your mail. You can open this, and you can take a printout. This laminate, put it in your house, and you can. When we don't use devices, there are lists when you don't want to use the devices. You can scroll down. There are tips given, and there are questions to ask. After the particular device time, how was it? During the device time, how was it? So I think you can frame this, stick it in your room, so that the children will know that this is the agreement. As parents, as children, they have done, this is my family rule, family expectation. So all of you will be in the same page to follow this. It's not forcing your child, but it's an agreement. This is age 9 to 12. That was 2 to 8. This is age 9 to 12. It also follows a similar way. You and what are your expectations? Are we kind? Are we healthy? So when you can start with a weekly planner. So it will be helpful. If you could take some time to just review that, it would be great.
Yeah. Hope you all agree with this. There are some researchers which are saying that screen time leads to the cause for ADHD, the attention deficit in children. And the children who are watching more than 2 hours every day, it's like the chance is 7.7 times higher risk of developing hyperactivity in the children. So let's all be mindful about how many hours they watch. In the agreement planner, you have that limit, what time they can watch. Yeah, and as you all know, excess eating during the screen time happens and children become obese. And it also affects their socio emotional development and understanding the emotional comprehension, which means they are unable to understand the others, like what cues they are giving, the facial or bodily cues, they are unable to understand and comprehend because they are overstimulated by the TV channels. And this overstimulation, in a due course of time, if they're watching a lot of screen in the young age, it is causing the neurodegeneration in adulthood, which leads to amnesia or dementia. I think doctors will agree with that. Yeah. So these are the after effect. And watching a lot of violent movies, it is actually desensitizing that violence is okay. They take it in the system and they feel that this is the when I face a situation, I can violently react and the problem gets solved. So it is desensitizing that in the system. So let's be mindful and let's be aware of what they are watching and talk about it and tell the importance, how we should reflect on what you're watching and switch to a better one. So it's always better to be a part of their online world. Yeah.
So we also encourage our learners to do that. And for you also, take a 20-second break at every 20 minutes you're using a digital device, something 20 feet away. Just look into it and just get back to your work. So it's good for your eyes. So we try to follow this in the ICT lab also. So it would be nice if you can also follow, especially for you, because you'll be working the more in the digital device. It'll be useful for you. And then uh, so all the learners will be into the digital world, but you want to review, you want to read if this particular content is safe for my child. This site, Common Sense Media, is something that we use in school. It's two people take the role. One is educator, one are the parents. And for educators, we have a plans that is required to teach our children. And for parents, there is a particular set of things that could be done. So you have a parent tab. If it's okay, you can just open this commonsensemedia.org in your phone. You have a particular parent tab there, and you have by topic which you want to cover, and by age groups, And also you have movie reviews, game reviews, book reviews, and which is okay for your child to use and which is not okay for your child. Do you want to share how you use common sense media?
Yeah, so common sense media we usually use actually for books because my older son reads fantasy fiction, and now there are he's 13 and there are a lot of young adult books. And so before he sees a title or something somebody recommended to him, we go on common sense media to see the age rating, and they also give you subcategories and tell you if there's say excessive violence or the sexually inappropriate themes, etc. So it's just common practice. Now my younger one, I don't have that problem because he doesn't read that kind of content, but in general, we use common sense media for that. For shows, if you're watching, say, a show on Netflix or a movie. Now, common sense media may not have enough on, say, regional Indian cinema or things like that. That you'd have to take your own call. But in general, any kind of new English series, like even say Wheel of Time, my son has read some of the books, but when it came on TV, it may be depicted in a certain way. Is it okay for him and his brother to watch it together? Things like that. So their movie reviews are good, their book reviews are good. Um, they have a lot of tips on other things like being safe digitally, not sharing your password, even digital hygiene. I tell the children, go and see the unused mails or unread mails, delete it. Don't let your inbox fill up, things like that. Just simple things that we sometimes forget to do until you see a warning saying you've used up your storage space or something. But even that I've made them do it during the holidays, on the weekend or whatever. Just look at things if you've not read, get rid of it. Do not open with a KCID. They do not tend to get any spam, but just sensitizing them to things like that also on their email and things like that. So
To know that it has book reviews. Especially as parents, you don't read as much as the child. I lost track.
Common sense media has reviews by both parents and children.
Yeah, yes.
So they give you a parents' feedback on what the age, what they feel the age appropriateness is for that show, book, movie, whatever. And then they get a survey from kids also and say that, okay, as a 10-year-old, I felt it was okay for me. I don't know who the survey comes from, but there's kids' reviews from a kid's point of view as well as from the parents' point of view.
So this is a very lovely site for us, and we can also become common sense media educators. That course is actually to open to all of us. We teachers become a common sense media educator. You can also become a common sense media educator, where you will be teaching your children on that. Uh, Now, it's the last activity that we want to take you through is before that, you are the role model. They look at you and learn. Finally, we want to end with that. They just see you how you are. What do you do? Do you follow? We say no device in the dining table. Do we bring? Because it's one constant. Whenever we do media balance, a constant. Always they compare. My mother is doing. My grandfather is doing. This common statement I've observed, but something we will try and go slowly. It's not a magic just to be done within a day or a week. Make a goal for 3 months. What are the steps that you're going to take? If your child is particularly with the YouTube for 2 hours, how can we reduce that? Come first to 1.5 hours, then 1 hour, then half an hour. You cannot just change it within overnight. It takes us time. So take it slowly. And also, your Gmeet chat and things like that. As parents, I want you to be in the same forum that you give some time. It's only some time for them to have conversation. And children do meet every day at school from morning till evening. So I tell them in class, if you want to ask something to your friend, just take the phone call, ask, and leave it off. So instead of, we would discourage Gmeet groups. If they want to have, give a particular scheduled time. Do it at 15 minutes, don't come out. That's it. If you want to ask if the child is absent, you can call. Just take a phone, call, finish off whatever your doubt, that would be done, which would be really helpful for the learners. And I would like you to take your balance sheet, something that you want to get rid of from your child. maybe something which is imbalanced there, maybe over screen time on a particular task, something that you want to get rid of, you can write it in the recycle sheet and make a paper ball. And you can also review something that you are using it for a long time. Maybe you're using an Amazon Prime or a Netflix, and it's above the time as your schedule. You want to get rid of. What do you want to get rid of? Please write it in the recycle sheet and make a paper ball.
For me and you and you, helps us stand up straight and keeps us in our shoes. Sometimes with technology, balancing's hard to do. Yes, balance is important for me and you and you. Together we hear a song, these words are true. When you look up from your screen when a friend says hi, share your game if they want to try, play outside when the sun is bright, devices go off when you say goodnight. It makes your whole self happy when you're balancing just right. For me and you and you, your heart, your head, your arms, and your legs need that balance too. Too much of something can make you mad or blue. So trust your guts, get on your feet. There's so much that you can do. When you ask before you take a phone, invite a friend if they're all alone. Stick to sides you know online. Go outside when the weather is fine. It makes your whole self happy when you're balancing just right. Media balance isn't easy. We know that this is true. Just think about this balance song, it'll help you through.